The message came on a Tuesday. Scientists at the Deep Space Listening Station in Nevada picked up the signal. It was not random. It was not natural. Someone out there was saying hello. For 3 days, the world held its breath. Leaders met in secret rooms. Military forces went on high alert. Regular people looked up at the night sky and wondered. On Friday, the aliens sent instructions for building a special communication device. By Sunday, humans and aliens were talking to each other through video screens. "We are the Galactic Confederation," said a blue-skinned being with large, gentle eyes. "We wish to welcome Earth to the greater community of spacefaring civilizations." Captain Ethan Wright sat in a plain government office watching the recorded message for the 5th time. He still couldn't believe they had chosen him to lead humanity's first steps into space. "Sir, the team is ready to meet you," said a young aide at the door. Ethan nodded and straightened his uniform. At 42, he had spent most of his life flying experimental aircraft and training astronauts. Now he would command the first human mission beyond our solar system. The conference room contained 4 people. They stood as he entered. "Please sit," he said. "We have a lot to discuss." Olivia Martinez smiled at him. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun. "Captain Wright, it's an honor. I studied Earth biology my whole career. Now I get to study alien life. Dr. Martinez will be our science officer," Ethan explained to the others. "She knows more about possible alien biology than anyone else on Earth." Next to her sat a serious-looking man with short blonde hair and a strong build. Lieutenant Jack Cooper, Stir, Security and Defense Specialist. "I'll keep our team safe." Ethan knew Cooper by reputation. The man had survived 3 weeks alone in the Arctic when a military exercise went wrong. If anyone could handle unknown dangers, it was him. "Samantha Blackwell," said a tall woman with confident eyes. "I'll handle our diplomatic communications. I speak 12 Earth languages, and I'm already learning the Confederation's standard language." The last person was a quiet man with glasses and a thoughtful expression. "Alan Peterson, cultural anthropologist. I study how different human societies interact. Now I'll study how different species interact." Ethan looked at them all. "In 1 month, we leave Earth on the ISV horizon. The Confederation has given us the plans for a faster-than-light engine. Our engineers built it without fully understanding how it works. We are taking a huge leap of faith." He showed them pictures of the Confederation's central hub, a massive space station called Harmonious Unity. The Confederation includes 37 intelligent species from over 100 planets, Ethan continued. "They say they have been watching Earth for decades. Now they believe we are ready to join them. Or they want something from us," Jack said quietly. Samantha frowned. The message seemed peaceful. "We'll find out soon enough," said Ethan. "Our job is to represent humanity, learn everything we can, and establish good relations. The future of our planet depends on what we do next." As they left the meeting, Olivia caught up with Ethan in the hallway. "Captain, there's something odd in the Confederation's messages. They keep referring to Earth as challenging and high stress. They seem surprised by our videos of everyday life." Ethan paused. "What do you think it means?" "I'm not sure," she said. "But I think they may find us just as strange as we find them." 1 month later, the ISV horizon rose from Earth, carrying the 5 humans toward their destiny. None of them knew that in the great catalog of inhabited worlds, Earth was classified as a death world, a planet so dangerous that most species considered it unsurvivable. And humans, the Deathworlders, were about to turn the galaxy's understanding of survival upside down. The journey took 3 weeks. Inside the ISV horizon, the 5 humans prepared as best they could. They studied the information the Confederation had sent about alien species, customs, and technology. When they arrived at Harmonious Unity, they fell silent in awe. The space station was massive, shaped like a wheel with 12 spokes. Ships of all sizes moved around it like fish in a pond. "It's beautiful," whispered Samantha as their small ship approached the docking bay. A soft voice came through their speakers. "Welcome, Earth representatives. Please prepare for docking." The 5 humans put on their formal uniforms. This was humanity's big moment. As they stepped out of their ship, they were met by a group of aliens. The one in front was tall and thin with blue skin that seemed to shimmer. It had 4 long arms and a face with large, kind eyes. "I am Ambassador Zixval of the Elorian people," the blue alien said in perfect English. "On behalf of the Galactic Confederation, I welcome you to harmonious unity." Ethan stepped forward. "Thank you, Ambassador. I am Captain Ethan Wright. These are my colleagues from Earth. We are honored to be here." The ambassador led them through wide hallways. The humans tried not to stare at the amazing variety of aliens they passed. Some floated instead of walked. Others had 6 or 8 legs. Some were covered in fur or scales. Many of the aliens moved away as the humans passed. Some made strange gestures that the humans didn't understand. "They seem afraid of us," Jack whispered to Olivia. In a large meeting room, they met representatives from the Confederation Council. The room was filled with different species sitting on various types of chairs and platforms. "The humans have arrived," announced Ambassador Zixval. Ethan stepped forward to speak. He picked up a ceremonial object that looked like a crystal globe that had been placed on a pedestal as a welcome gift. "On behalf of Earth, we thank you for..." The crystal globe shattered in his hand. Ethan looked down in horror at the broken pieces. The room fell silent. Then the aliens began making sounds, some like whispers, others like chirps or clicks. "I'm so sorry," Ethan said quickly. "I didn't mean to break it." Ambassador Zixval seemed shocked. "That was unbreakable stone from the mines of Diraxius. It takes a force of over 500 pressure units to even crack it." "I barely squeezed it," Ethan said, confused. An alien with gray skin and a ridge of bony plates on its head stood up. "This confirms our suspicions. Humans come from a high-gravity death world. Their physical strength is dangerous." Samantha stepped forward. "What do you mean by death world?" The gray alien looked at the others. "They don't even know what they are." Ambassador Zixval explained gently. "Planets are classified by conditions. Class 1 worlds are paradise planets. Perfect temperature, low gravity, no predators, no extreme weather. Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world," said another alien. "Extreme gravity, deadly atmosphere, dangerous predators, terrible weather, and high radiation from your sun. No Confederation species could survive there without special equipment." The humans looked at each other in surprise. "But Earth seems normal to us," said Alan. "Exactly," said the ambassador. "You evolved in conditions that would kill most sentient beings. Your bodies are incredibly strong by our standards. Your bones are like metal. Your muscles are powerful. You can survive radiation that would kill others. You can even drink acid." "Acid?" asked Jack. "Your coffee contains acids that would burn through Elorian skin," the ambassador explained. An older alien with a complicated ceremonial collar stood up. "The council has decided. For everyone's safety, humans will be placed in the Protected Species Program. You will receive our help, but not our technology." Ethan frowned. "What does that mean exactly?" "It means," said the gray alien, "that you will be treated as children, for your own good and ours." Ethan looked at his team. They had not come all this way to be treated as children. "With respect," he said firmly, "we came here as equals. We will not accept less." The meeting room grew tense. The humans stood together while the aliens whispered among themselves. Ambassador Zixval looked uncomfortable. Finally, an ancient alien moved forward. Unlike the others, this one had thick, leathery skin and yellow eyes with vertical pupils. It walked with a slight limp but carried itself with great dignity. "I am High Elder Krovac," it said in a deep, rumbling voice. "I have led the Confederation Council for 200 cycles. I have seen many new species join us." The High Elders studied the humans carefully. Your kind is different. You are strong. You are built for survival in ways we can barely understand. This makes some of us nervous." The gray alien with bony plates interrupted. "They are dangerous. They should be controlled." High Elder Krovac held up a hand for silence. "But I believe in fairness. If humans wish to be treated as equals, they must prove themselves equal." Ethan stepped forward. "Tell us how." "The Elite Ranger Qualification Course," said Krovac. "It is how we identify those with exceptional abilities across all species. Those who complete it earn great respect." Ambassador Zix Val looked shocked. "High Elder, no species from a world below Class 8 has ever completed the course. It would be impossible for them." Krovac smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "Then they have nothing to lose by trying. If they complete it, Earth will be granted full membership in the Confederation. If they fail, they accept protected status." The humans gathered in a small circle to discuss. "What is this course?" Jack asked. Samantha quickly checked the information on her device. "It's a survival training program for the Confederation's elite forces. It tests physical limits, endurance, problem-solving, and survival skills." "Seems like they're setting us up to fail," said Alan. Olivia looked thoughtful. "Maybe not. Remember, they think our planet is extremely dangerous. They might not realize what humans can handle." Ethan nodded. "We're stronger than they think we are. I say we take the challenge." They turned back to the council. "We accept," Ethan announced. High Elder Krovac nodded. "You will have 1 month to prepare. The course takes place on Sorvis 9, our training planet." As they left the council chamber, a group of alien officials surrounded them. One was tall and muscular with red-orange scales and a ridge of spines down its back. "I am Commander Drav of the Dravhar," it hissed. "Your kind does not belong here. You will fail, and you will know your place." Jack stepped forward, but Ethan put a hand on his shoulder. "We'll see you at the course, Commander." The humans were given quarters in a section of the station. That evening, Ambassador Zix Val visited them. "I must warn you," the ambassador said. "The Elite Ranger course is designed to push beings to their absolute limits. It has 16 different environments, each more dangerous than the last." "What kinds of environments?" asked Olivia. "Extreme cold, extreme heat, low oxygen, high gravity, toxic atmospheres, radiation zones." The ambassador's 4 hands gestured nervously. "It was created to find the toughest beings in the galaxy." Ethan smiled. "On Earth, we have training for all those conditions. Our military forces, our explorers, our scientists. They face these challenges regularly." The ambassador looked doubtful. "The course has a 95% failure rate even among species from harsh worlds." After the ambassador left, the team gathered to make plans. "We need to study everything about this course," said Ethan. "Jack, you'll lead our physical preparation. Olivia, analyze the environmental challenges. Samantha, learn what you can about previous participants. Alan, find out about the Confederation's expectations." "There's something else to consider," Olivia said quietly. "The Dravhar clearly don't want us to succeed. We should watch for sabotage." Ethan nodded. "We have 1 month to prepare for the toughest challenge of our lives. But remember, what these aliens consider extreme survival training might just be an average day on Earth." The month passed quickly. The humans spent every day learning about the training planet and preparing their bodies and minds. They exercised in special rooms that could change gravity and atmosphere. They studied the survival gear they would be allowed to bring. When the day came, they boarded a Confederation transport ship along with 20 other beings from different species. These were the elite of their worlds, chosen for their exceptional abilities. The journey to Sorvis 9 took 3 days. During this time, the humans kept to themselves, watching the other competitors. Most avoided the humans, but one young alien approached them on the 2nd day. "I am Threx," it said. Its skin was green and scaly, but it had a friendly face with large golden eyes. "I am from Siluria, a Class 9 world. May I join you?" Samantha smiled. "Please do. I'm Samantha." Frex sat with them during meals after that. It told them about its home world and asked many questions about Earth. "Is it true you have oceans of liquid water covering most of your planet?" Frex asked in wonder. "Yes," said Alan, "and mountains that reach into the clouds, deserts that burn during the day and freeze at night, and forests so thick you can barely walk through them." Frex shook its head in amazement. "No wonder you are so strong." The transport ship landed on Xorvis 9, a planet with no natural life. The Confederation had built it specifically for training. From orbit, the humans could see different colored sections: icy white regions, red desert areas, blue water zones, and black rocky terrain. As they stepped off the ship, a tall, fierce-looking alien greeted them. It had dark purple skin, 4 eyes, and a body covered in what looked like natural armor. "I am Grand Marshal Pixeloth," it announced in a booming voice. "I am the chief instructor of the Elite Ranger program. For the next 30 days, I will test your limits. Many of you will fail. Some may be injured. This is not a game." The Grand Marshal looked at the humans with all 4 eyes. "I understand we have beings from a Class 12 world this cycle. This is unusual." The other aliens murmured and moved away from the humans. "The first test begins now," Pixeloth said. "The Respiratory Endurance Challenge." They were led to a large dome. Inside, the air was thin, containing much less oxygen than normal. "You must remain conscious and functional for 6 hours," said the Grand Marshal. "There are puzzles to solve during this time to prove you are not just awake but mentally alert." The humans looked at each other. Earth's atmosphere had more oxygen than most inhabited planets. They had trained for low-oxygen environments, but this would still be challenging. As the hours passed, aliens began to struggle. Some used breathing devices they had brought. Others sat still to conserve energy. 3 had to be removed when they lost consciousness. The humans completed the puzzles and even moved around the dome, checking on others who were struggling. "This is too easy for them," one of the instructors whispered to Pixeloth. "Their blood must carry oxygen differently." The next day brought the Gravity Resistance Challenge. The testing area was set to twice the standard Confederation gravity. "You must complete an obstacle course while carrying these weights," said Pixeloth, pointing to metal objects that looked very heavy. Again, the humans surprised everyone. Earth's gravity was higher than most inhabited worlds. What felt crushing to the other competitors felt only slightly uncomfortable to Ethan and his team. Jack completed the course first, followed by Ethan and Olivia. Samantha and Alan finished in the middle of the pack, still ahead of many alien competitors. That evening, Frex visited the humans' quarters. "The instructors are talking about you," it said. "They didn't expect you to do so well." "What's tomorrow's challenge?" asked Jack. "Temperature extremes," Frex replied. "First extreme cold, then extreme heat. Many drop out during this test." Ethan smiled. "On Earth, we have places where it's minus 60 degrees and others where it's plus 120 degrees. We'll be fine." Grand Marshal Pixeloth watched the humans from a distance. These Deathworlders were not struggling as expected. Perhaps it was time to increase the difficulty. The temperature challenge went as expected. The humans faced the freezing cold with special gear they had brought from Earth. When the heat test came, they sweated heavily but kept going while many aliens struggled or quit. By the end of the first week, almost half of the alien participants had dropped out. The human team remained complete and strong. Grand Marshal Pixeloth called an emergency meeting with the other instructors. "The Deathworlders are making our course look easy," Pixeloth said. "This is not acceptable. The Elite Ranger program must maintain its reputation for extreme difficulty." "What do you suggest?" asked one of the instructors. "Move directly to Week 3 challenges," said Pixeloth. "Skip the intermediate tests." That night, Threx came to warn the humans. "They are changing the program for you," Threx said nervously. "Tomorrow you face the poison atmosphere zone. It was scheduled for next week, but they moved it forward." "Thank you for telling us," said Samantha. After Threx left, Ethan gathered the team. "This is where it gets real. They're trying to break us now." "The poison atmosphere will be tough," said Olivia. "Our breathing gear can filter most toxins, but not all of them. We need to move quickly through that zone." The next morning, they stood at the entrance to a purple-tinted dome. Inside was a maze filled with toxic gas. "Your task is to find the exit while solving the puzzles along the way," said Pixeloth. "Standard filter masks are provided, but they will only work for 30 minutes. The fastest way through takes 25 minutes. The humans and remaining aliens entered the dome. The gas smelled sweet, but burned in their lungs even through the masks. Jack took the lead, moving quickly through the maze. They were making good time until they reached a puzzle that required moving heavy blocks to form a pattern. While Ethan and Alan worked on it, Jack suddenly fell to his knees. "My mask is failing," he gasped. His face was turning red, and he was struggling to breathe. Olivia quickly pulled a small kit from her pack. "Your filter is saturated. The toxin is getting through." She injected him with something and replaced his filter with a spare she had brought. "How did you know to bring that?" asked an alien competitor who was watching. "On Earth, we have plants and animals that produce similar toxins," Olivia explained. "We prepared for this." They completed the maze with 2 minutes to spare. Jack recovered quickly thanks to Olivia's treatment. The instructors looked disappointed. That afternoon, Grand Marshal Pixeloth sent a private message to the Confederation Council. "The humans are performing beyond expectations," the message said. "They show resistance to conditions that should be debilitating. Request permission to implement ultimate challenge protocols." The response came quickly. "Permission granted. Test the Deathworlders to their limits." The following day brought the Radiation Zone Challenge. The competitors had to cross an area exposed to high radiation levels while collecting specific items. "Your protective suits will shield you from most radiation," explained Pixeloth. "But exposure time must be minimized. No one has ever collected all 10 items." To everyone's surprise, Ethan split the team into pairs. "Jack and I will get the items on the right side. Olivia and Samantha, take the left. Alan, wait at the checkpoint and keep track of what we found." The alien competitors went in alone, moving slowly and carefully. The humans moved quickly, working together and calling out to each other. "What are they doing?" Pixeloth asked another instructor. "They're using teamwork," the instructor replied. "They're dividing the radiation exposure among them." The humans collected 9 of the 10 items. No other competitor got more than 6. That evening, Alan disappeared for several hours. When he returned, his face was serious. "I overheard something," he told the team. "The council is scared of how well we're doing. They've authorized something called the Ultimate Challenge Protocols." "What does that mean?" asked Samantha. "I don't know," said Alan, "but I think they're trying to make sure we fail." Ethan looked at his team. They were tired but determined. "Let them try," he said. "They don't understand what humans are capable of when pushed to our limits." The third week of training brought challenges unlike anything the competitors had faced before. The humans woke to find a notice on their door. "Ultimate Challenge Protocols activated," it read. "All remaining tests will be at maximum difficulty." When they arrived at the morning briefing, only 10 alien competitors remained from the original 20. They looked tired and worried. "Today we face the Predator Evasion Test," Grand Marshal Pixeloth announced. "You will enter a forested zone where hunting drones will track you. Your task is to reach the safe zone without being caught. The drones are programmed with the hunting patterns of the galaxy's most efficient predators." As they prepared, Ethan gathered his team. "Jack and I will go first and create a distraction. The rest of you circle around to the east where the trees are thicker." The alien competitors watched with interest. When the test began, Ethan and Jack ran straight into the open, making noise and leaving obvious tracks. The hunting drones immediately pursued them. "What are they doing?" asked an instructor. "That's suicide." But instead of running away from the drones, Ethan and Jack suddenly changed direction. They split up, doubled back, and crossed a stream to break their scent trail. These were hunting tactics from Earth, used by humans for thousands of years. Meanwhile, Olivia, Samantha, and Alan moved quietly through the thick trees. Olivia had covered their skin with mud to mask their body heat, another ancient human technique. When the first drone approached Jack, he didn't run. Instead, he hid behind a tree, waited until it passed, then jumped on it from behind. The drone crashed to the ground, disabled. "They're not evading the predators," said Pixeloth in shock. "They're hunting the hunters." By the end of the test, the humans had disabled 5 drones and all reached the safe zone. Only 3 alien competitors made it through. That afternoon, videos of the humans' performance began spreading throughout harmonious unity. Species from across the Confederation watched in amazement as the Deathworlders demonstrated skills no one expected. The next day brought the Acid Rain Challenge. Competitors had to cross an open area while corrosive liquid fell from above. The protective gear provided only partial coverage. As the acid rain began to fall, most competitors ran to minimize exposure time. Samantha instead collected some of the liquid in a container she had brought. "What is she doing?" Frex asked Alan as they sheltered under a small overhang. "I think she has an idea," Alan replied. Samantha mixed the acid with minerals she had collected during previous challenges. Then she spread the mixture on their protective gear. "It's a neutralizing compound," she explained. "The acid reacts with these minerals to form a harmless salt." With their improved protection, the humans moved safely through the acid rain. Seeing this, Samantha offered some of her mixture to Threx and the other aliens nearby. "Why are you helping us?" asked one competitor. "Because that's what humans do," Samantha said simply. The instructors were now completely confused by the humans' behavior. "They compete fiercely, yet they help others," one said to Pixeloth. "They are predators who protect. I don't understand." That evening, Olivia treated burns and injuries sustained by several alien competitors. News of her medical skills spread quickly. Meanwhile, footage of the humans' performance had reached the highest levels of the Confederation. The council was divided on how to respond. "They are too dangerous," insisted a representative of the Dravhar. "If they complete the course, they will demand equal status and access to our technology." "Perhaps that is their right," said another council member. "They have earned respect." The Dravhar representative left the meeting early. Later, it met secretly with 3 officials who oversaw the training planet's systems. "There must be an accident during the underwater challenge tomorrow," the Dravhar said. "One that ensures the humans cannot complete the course." Back on Xorvis 9, Alan was walking near the control buildings when he overheard voices. He stopped to listen, then hurried back to tell the others what he had discovered. "They're going to sabotage the underwater challenge," he told the team. "The Dravhar have ordered it." Ethan's expression was grim. "Then we'll be ready for them." Grand Marshal Pixeloth gathered all remaining participants at dawn. Only 8 aliens remained alongside the 5 humans. They stood by a large artificial lake with dark blue water. "Today you face the underwater challenge," Pixeloth announced. "You must retrieve 5 objects from the bottom of the lake. The water contains mild irritants and visibility is poor. Breathing equipment is provided, but it has limited air supply." Ethan glanced at his team. They had spent most of the night preparing for the sabotage Alan had overheard. "Before we begin," Ethan said, stepping forward, "I'd like to make an alliance with some of the other competitors." The aliens looked surprised. This was unusual in the Elite Ranger program. "Why would we work with you?" asked one. "Because the challenge has been tampered with," Ethan said loudly, looking directly at Pixeloth. "Someone plans to cut power to the breathing equipment once we're underwater." The training area went silent. Pixeloth's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "That is a serious accusation," the Grand Marshal said. "It's true," said Alan. "I heard Dravhar representatives discussing it last night." Threx stepped forward. "I will join your alliance." 2 other aliens joined them as well. The rest stayed back, unsure what to believe. Pixeloth ordered a check of all equipment but found nothing wrong. "The challenge will proceed as planned," he announced. As they prepared to enter the water, Jack whispered to the team, "Remember the plan." Olivia checks the oxygen scrubbers. Samantha watches the power connections. Alan stays with our new allies. "I'll get the objects." They entered the water. The breathing masks worked well at first. Jack dove deep, finding objects faster than the others. Threx and the allied aliens stayed close to Alan. 10 minutes into the challenge, it happened. The lights under the water flickered and went out. Moments later, the breathing equipment began to fail. Bubbles sputtered from the masks, and many competitors began to panic. Olivia immediately swam to a small control box on the lake floor. Using tools they had concealed in their gear, she forced it open. Inside, she found what she expected. The oxygen scrubbers had been sabotaged. Meanwhile, Samantha located the power coupling where someone had installed a timer to cut electricity. She bypassed it using techniques learned from Earth's underwater repair teams. On the surface, Pixeloth and the instructors realized something was wrong when emergency alarms sounded. "Get them out," Pixeloth ordered. But before the rescue team could dive in, the underwater lights came back on. One by one, competitors surfaced safely. Jack emerged last, carrying all 5 target objects. "What happened down there?" demanded Pixeloth. "Exactly what we warned you about," said Ethan. "Someone sabotaged the systems. Fortunately, we were prepared." Pixeloth looked angry and embarrassed. "Who did this will be found and punished. The challenge is considered complete." That evening, the final notice arrived. "Tomorrow begins the impossible challenge," it read. "A 3-day survival journey through all 16 biomes. No equipment provided except basic clothing." When Ethan showed the others, they fell silent. "This is it," said Jack. "The ultimate test. Only 3 beings have ever completed it," said Samantha, who had researched the challenge. Elen looked worried. "After today's events, the Dravhar will be desperate to stop us." "Let them try," said Olivia. "We've handled everything so far." That night, Grand Marshal Pixeloth visited their quarters. "I owe you an apology," the instructor said. "The sabotage was real. 3 officials have been arrested." "Will the impossible challenge still happen?" asked Ethan. "Yes, it is tradition, and the council insists." Pixeloth hesitated. "No human has ever attempted it. I do not believe even Deathworlders can survive all 16 biomes with no equipment." Ethan smiled. "You might be surprised what humans can do when pushed to our limits." "Perhaps," said Pixeloth. "But the final biome is the mountain zone during a manufactured hurricane. The winds reach speeds no being can withstand." After the Grand Marshal left, the team gathered for one last planning session. "Hurricane winds," said Ethan thoughtfully. "On Earth, people have survived Category 5 hurricanes. We can do this." At dawn, they stood at the starting line with the 7 remaining alien competitors. Before them stretched a vast landscape of diverse and deadly environments. The final test had begun. The impossible challenge lived up to its name. For 3 days, the humans and remaining aliens faced every deadly environment Sorvis 9 could create. They crossed a burning desert where the sand melted their footwear. They swam through freezing waters that numbed their limbs. They climbed razor-sharp rock formations that cut their hands. Through it all, the humans kept going. By the end of the 2nd day, only the humans, Threx, and 1 other alien remained in the challenge. They had reached the underwater segment, which they approached with caution after the previous sabotage. "The water seems clear," said Ethan as they stood at the edge. "But stay alert." They were halfway across when the trouble began. Strange bubbles rose from below, and the water started to change color. "Something's wrong," said Olivia, examining a sample. "There's a chemical reaction happening. The oxygen is being stripped from the water." "We can't breathe underwater like you can," gasped Threx, struggling to stay afloat. Just then, an alarm sounded. A voice announced, "Emergency. System malfunction. All participants evacuate immediately." "This is no malfunction," said Jack. "It's another sabotage." Ethan made a quick decision. "Jack, Samantha, find what's causing this and fix it. Olivia, help Threx. Alan, locate the emergency oxygen supplies the instructors must have nearby." They split up. Jack and Samantha dove deep, finding a broken container leaking chemicals into the water. Using skills learned from Earth's environmental disaster teams, they sealed the leak. Alan found emergency breathing devices hidden in a compartment. He brought them back for the aliens, who were nearly unconscious. By the time the instructors arrived, the humans had already saved the situation. Grand Marshal Pixeloff stared at them in disbelief. "You should not have been able to do this," the Grand Marshal said. "On Earth, we train for underwater emergencies," explained Ethan. "Chemical spills happen in our oceans. We learn to handle them." The final day brought them to the mountain zone. Dark clouds swirled above as they began to climb. The wind grew stronger with each step. "The hurricane will start in 1 hour," warned Pixeloff before leaving them. No one has ever reached the summit during the storm. The humans studied the mountain. It was tall and steep with few handholds. "We need to use the wind, not fight it," said Ethan, remembering mountaineering techniques from Earth. "When it gusts, we brace. When it pauses, we climb." They began their ascent. Threx struggled but followed their example. The other alien gave up halfway, signaling for emergency extraction. When the hurricane hit, it was worse than they expected. Winds howled at speeds that could tear flesh from bone. Rain fell like bullets. Lightning struck the mountain repeatedly. The humans tied themselves together with rope they had woven from plant fibers found in earlier biomes. When one slipped, the others held firm. They created shelters in the rock during the worst gusts, using techniques from mountain climbers on Earth. 6 hours later, with their bodies pushed beyond normal limits, they reached the summit. Threx collapsed beside them, barely conscious but alive. A bright light appeared above them. A transport ship descended through the storm. Grand Marshal Pixeloff stepped out, his 4 eyes wide with amazement. "You did it," the Grand Marshal said. "No one has ever completed the impossible challenge during a full hurricane." "We're humans," said Ethan simply. "This is what we do." As they flew back to the base, a message arrived from the Confederation Council. The humans were too exhausted to read it, but Pixeloff summarized it for them. "The Council is divided. Some want to welcome Earth as full members. Others still fear you. They request your presence at Harmonious Unity for a final decision." 1 week later, fully recovered, the 5 humans stood before the Confederation Council. High Elder Krovac addressed them. "You have completed our most difficult challenge. According to our agreement, Earth should be granted full membership. However, some on the Council wish to add restrictions." Ethan stepped forward. "We have a different proposal. Earth will not join as just another member." The Council murmured in surprise. "Instead," Ethan continued, "we offer to establish a Deathworlder training academy. What you call extreme survival training is basic knowledge on Earth. We will teach your elite rangers to truly survive." High Elder Krovac's eyes gleamed with interest. "And in exchange, full technological exchange between Earth and the Confederation, and a new classification, not protected species, not just members, but instructors." The Council debated briefly. Then Krovac nodded. "Agreed. The Deathworlders will teach us how to survive."